What's up, y'all? Welcome back in. And listen, man, it's getting bad for Shannon Sharpe. Unk is definitely taking a hit. We got hit with this lawsuit, I want to say a few days ago. It came out, bombshell, of course. Tony Buzbee's behind it. So a lot of people were skeptical. And then a lot of things came out. He stepped down from ESPN yesterday. And now we're hearing there might be another one underway. So welcome back to PeePodCove. I appreciate you coming through. I am P, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about this Shannon Sharpe, and what goes up must come down. And it seemed like they're ready to take Shannon down. And, I didn't think this was as big as it's gotten, and it seemed like every day it's getting a little bigger. So let me know down in the comments how you feel about Shannon now. Or we believe in these allegations. We're gonna react to Chick's Move today. Chick's Move went in, did his homework, and he's gonna give us some receipts, and we're gonna find out a little more about Shannon, what's going on with him, and the ex is now stepping in, and she's sounding off. So let's get to it. I'm not gonna hold y'all. Booyah.
YouTube, chicks. Get ready. You know what to do, chicks.
Chicks Move. Hey, Chicks Move. Appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching this shit for a while.
Make sure I go over there, like his video.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy BREAD Fox, reporting from the Chicks Universe. And boy, oh boy, chat, I can't believe I'm about to say this. I've been trying to fight it, but I got to face the reality, and I got to say the truth. It looked like this man, Shannon Sharpe, might be cooked. So, for those of you who don't know what's going on, Shannon Sharpe was actually recently accused by an OnlyFans model that's 19 years old of SA and the R word. So, at first, people were very skeptical of this just because of his image and everything like that. However, now, out of nowhere this morning, there's actually been another accusation. And it turns out it was an accusation that was there before, but however, it got pretty much buried over. So what ended up happening was one of Shannon Sharpe's ex-girlfriends, Michelle, funny enough, that she is Shannon Sharpe's former ex-girlfriend of many years, and that back in 2010, the way the relationship ended was that he R-worded her as well. Now, this becomes a second allegation, and there's actually rumors that there are more allegations on the way. In the lawsuit, it said,
"This ain't looking good. Unk is a freak. Is he? I'm not even gonna go there."
A whole bunch of things, and the counter to the lawsuit was extremely salacious with all of these text messages and everything like that. And at first, it looked kind of funny, and everybody's having fun with it. But now that we're looking at it in the long run, that may actually come back to bite Shannon in the behind. Why? Because it kind of just loses that empathy. It just shows you have no empathy for this person, even if it's not true. If it is true, it just makes the public perception look at you as though you're not an empathetic person. And that can sway very highly in the favor of plaintiff's case. For the second one, it's pretty much the ex-girlfriend coming out with the horrifying story. A former girlfriend of embattled NFL legend Shannon Sharpe claimed their decade-long relationship ended with a restraining order after the Hall of Famer allegedly R-worded and threatened to ruin her if she ever spoke out. Michelle Bundy Evans.
Listen, this is crazy to think about that. After going out for 10 years, you pretty much, that's like almost being married, kind of. Like, why would you need, well, we don't know why people do a lot of things, but it's just insane to think about. It's always somebody that it seemed like he's had a long relationship with. But this stuff gets deep, man. Okay, so let me go back here. It looks like she might have got some money.
And threatened to ruin her if she ever spoke out. Michelle Bundy Evans filed a $4 million defamation lawsuit against Sharpe for divulging their ongoing legal disputes on television after news broke that she filed a restraining order accusing him of SA and stalking for the September 2010 incident. Now, that was a defamation lawsuit, and
so that was in 2010. So what did anybody let me know? Was that Well, I'm sure he might get into it. Was that thrown out? Was that lawsuit? Did they follow through on that?
In that lawsuit, she actually goes into detail about what actually happened that night. So in the news article, they do cover that. And they say the defamation lawsuit filed by the scorned ex alleged that Evans and Sharpe were arguing when the football star forced his sweetheart of nearly 10 years to be on her knees and sexually assaulted her before R-wording her. Evans claimed she sought legal protection after the former Denver Bronco hurled threats of ruin if she ever publicly disclosed this disturbing incident, according to the suit. They're accusing him of the R word again, and this is the second person. Now, this is, as they say, a scorned ex. And one thing that we do have to mention, which is also mentioned in the article, is that the restraining order was dropped almost immediately after it was filed. So in the article, it says the restraining.
Why would you drop a restraining order minutes after it was filed? That doesn't make sense. Unless they were threatened, I'm thinking. The restraining order was dropped shortly after it was filed, CBS reports, with Evans claiming she was harassed at home with her daughter over her. Whoa.
Order was dropped shortly after it was filed. CBS reported, with Evans claiming she was harassed at home with her daughter over her decision to go after her former beau. Shannon Sharpe's legal team did have something to say about this, and they absolutely called it tomfoolery. Michelle Evans' claims are ridiculous and completely without merit. Vincent Morris, Sharpe's attorney, told the Post Thursday night she could not find a lawyer to take her case, and if you read her complaint, you'll see it is filled with nonsense. Shannon had no contact with her for many years, and we understand that she is still on probation after serving 3 years in prison. Now, allegedly, she attacked.
Damn, it seemed like everybody in this case is dirty. Everybody's messy. There's no squeaky cleaners in this case. I mean, it's not funny, but it's just there's a lot of moving parts. So now the one that his ex-girlfriend just got out of jail, and well, that doesn't say he's innocent, but it's just like, wow, the people that he choose to intertwine with, vice versa, wouldn't surprise anybody why he's in this mess right now. Man, you never really know what people got going on, man. You never know what they got going on. You thought Marv Albert was bad.
Her ex-husband and was sentenced to 3 years in prison for that, but
let me go back
to after serving 3 years in prison. Now, allegedly, she attacked her ex-husband and was sentenced to 3 years in prison for that. But
so what could you do to get 3 years in prison? A female. Usually, if the man attacked a woman, yeah, he may go to prison, serve some jail time. But for a woman, usually, you got to do something horrible, very, very bad, to get 3 years in jail. That's crazy.
It turns out the reason why she's actually bringing this about today is because she's kind of sort of coming to the defense of the 19-year-old OnlyFans model who is accusing Shannon. Now, if you
I think she's like 21 now. I could be wrong. I think she was 19 when they met.
Remember, when Shannon's legal team actually responded to the lawsuit, which was filed by a Jane Doe as an anonymous suitor, they actually responded with doxing the person who was suing Shannon Sharpe. So rather than addressing her as Jane Doe, they addressed her as Gabriella Zuniga.
I did notice that. And I was like, wow, that was pretty insane that they released her name to the public. I think that was on his part doing that. Was that smart? Was it not? Let me know down in the comments.
Much letting everybody know who she was. Shannon Sharpe's ex is saying she knows how that girl feels and she's been where that girl's been, and that this is actually one of Shannon Sharpe's tactics he uses to silence his victims. So this is what Michelle said. I want people to understand what Shannon did to this woman by doxing her, by putting out her name, by putting out her OnlyFans account. That was horrifying because things are going to happen to her because of that. I still get it to this day, and I went through a lot of things. As you can see in the complaint, that's actually even stemmed from it. This is somebody that was literally on top of the world just last year. At the end of the day, you have to be responsible in the way that you move, and you have to be responsible in the way that you act. And in
True.
addition to that, we have to be fair to all sides, because especially now that there's another person that has entered the chat, it makes it a little bit more difficult to just refute the claims all the way through. Even though Tony Buzbee and his slimy self is behind these lawsuits, that doesn't automatically take away.
And that's what I was saying. I think a lot of people kind of, I wouldn't say dismissed it, but they didn't look at it with the same view as if it was another lawyer coming off of what Busby just came off with the Jay-Z and Diddy situation, where he fumbled it badly. But we're not saying that these women or this lady, I'm not sure if this new one is also filed with Busby, but we kind of believe something's going on there. You see, everybody got lawyers involved, so it's like a triangle of
that the people who are bringing these suits up to the light are lying. We still have to treat everybody with respect, and we still have to keep
facts.
everything open. At the end of the day, we live in a country that's innocent until proven guilty. And we're just hoping that Shannon Sharpe is telling the truth.
But I tell you what, it hasn't been like that lately, because he is not going to be proven innocent until guilty. It's going to be the other way around, because right now, it almost seemed like the public's getting ready to turn on him. Like there's something else that's going to spill out that's going to either take him down or he's going to rise above. You know, on my other podcast, I said I believe that something may work out for him, but with this new allegation dropping today, this is getting serious. And you know, I read a report somewhere that he allegedly choked out a female, one of his co-workers when he worked for Fox. I'll have to remember to pull that up, get that for my next live. I got a live coming up soon. But yeah, apparently he choked them out, and it wasn't like, I don't think they were like in the bedroom. It was just some. So I don't know what happened there, but damn, Unc is a freak. Freaky D, boy.
And he's actually able to prove his innocence. However, the court of public opinion always weighs heavily in these matters. So I would love to know how you guys feel. Drop some knowledge in the comments. Do you think Shannon Sharpe is actually innocent? Or do you think that, no, he's 100% guilty, and these two women are just the very first to come of many? Please let us know in the comments. Also, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy.
Yo, that's Chick Smooth. Make sure y'all go there, like, subscribe. Chick Smooth right there. Listen, if you saw when Monique came on his show on Club Shay Shay, she talked about it. Why don't you stop messing around with these young ladies out here, buying them all these Birka bags and all this stuff? You know, to me, it's like I guess it helps him keep him young, whatever. I don't know, but he's the one putting himself in these situations. And I remember, I don't want to like get him attached to certain people, but when the Cosby thing started rolling out, and it was one, you know, and everybody was like, oh, this, and then it was 2, and then it was 10, and it was 15. And then that number just kept doubling every day. 3, 4 more kept coming out. And after a while, you got to say, you know what? If there's smoke, there might be some fire up under there. And we're starting to believe. You could start to feel people starting to believe. You know, I want to see how this. I don't think his ex filed on the Buzbee. I think she filed on someone else. But if a third one drops, he's finished. He's finished. Now, y'all need to let me know how y'all feel about Unc. Are we still supporting Unc? Yeah, people. I'm not sure if the culture will ever like dislike him to that point, because for some reason I just feel like people are going to still stick around to see how things turn out. He's not that type of person that's just where you just unfollow him and leave him because he was so destructive. Not saying this isn't a bad situation, but you know how it is in 2025, where this is a whole new culture here, man, where it's like, as long as people are getting their fix of whatever they need, they don't care who else get hurt. They don't care about nothing else. But I'm gonna leave it right there because right now I'm sure there's something else coming about this Shannon Sharpe situation, man. It's crazy how your life and things in your life can change so fast, so quick. One minute you're heading up, the one next minute you're at the bottom of the ocean with a, just man. Y'all need to let me know how y'all feel down in the comments because this is all happening so fast. But Peapod Cove, I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Peace, y'all.